Hi, I'm Sarah. My husband John, son Connor, myself, and our two dogs, Bella and Watson, are exploring Alberta in our RV, and we want to share our experiences with you. For a lot of people, going to a first come, first serve campground, especially for the planners among us, it's a terrifying idea. The idea of gambling to get out there and hope there's a spot for you, is this something you're just not willing to try? Well, I guess I'm here to encourage you to actually give it a try. There are hundreds of fantastic campgrounds around Alberta that are first come, first serve, often in some really interesting areas. That being said, I am also a little bit nervous because we are heading out to Williams, Switzer this weekend, a long weekend, to a first come, first serve. So hopefully there's something when we get there, but let's see how it goes.
So one of the first things we learned is that before heading to a first come, first serve campsite, you should look online to check the status of the site. If you see phrases such as facility closed or flooding in campgrounds, you should probably come up with an alternative plan. The plan was for our group to camp in 3 sites at Graveyard Lake Campground, but because of recent flooding, half the sites were closed and too many of the others were already full. We were the first of our group to arrive, and lucky for us, the area has cell service, and we even had some maps printed out of the larger area to look through. In the end, we were able to find a site just a few minutes up the road at another first come, first serve called Halfway Campground. With first come, first serve sites, you're welcome to put as many trailers or tents on the site as you can fit. The only caveat being that each family's trailer or tent needs to register and pay for the site. Halfway Campground was a beautiful open area flanked by trees and backed onto Jarvis Creek, the same creek as Graveyard Lake Campground backed onto.
So the nice thing about first come, first serve campgrounds is they're usually a little smaller, which means that there's a little more privacy. You're not going to get as many people or as much barking. They're also in places that are a little more out of the way. So again, it's going to be a little more private than your traditional reservable campground. The disadvantage? No amenities. You're not going to find playgrounds, fish cleaning stations, beaches are here. We got outhouses and a fire pit. That's about it. So you got to bring your own amenities.
The advantage to this first come, first serve is that it is nestled in Williams Switzer Provincial Park, which contains multiple other campsites and nearby amenities. We started by heading over to Williams Switzer Visitor Center, where we were able to sign out one of the many different adventure packs. Connor chose the Bug Hunt pack, which contained butterfly nets, magnifying viewers, identification guides, and more. Located right behind the visitor center is a small body of water called Kelly's Bathtub, which features a small beach and a short nature trail that loops around the water. Armed with our Bug Hunt adventure pack, we walked to the trail, catching a few different types of butterflies and bugs, and really getting a close-up view of some of them. After a quick stop to check out the tiny beach, we were heading back to the campsite when we decided to stop and check out Trout Pond. It's a beautiful little lake, just a short hike from the road with a dock for fishing and abundance of fish. The next day, John and Connor and some of our friends took our paddleboards to the Graveyard Lake Campground, where there was easy access to Jarvis Creek. For the truly adventurous, you can use the creek to reach multiple lakes in the area, but on this trip, John and Connor only went to Cache Lake, where they landed on an island the kids dubbed Pirate Island to look for treasure. They didn't find any treasure, but they did find a cool breeze that was making Connor cold, and before long, we were off again. The afternoon was a sunny one, and we certainly didn't need a bug hunt pack to find butterflies, as they were everywhere. Many were content to land on our feet or legs, and one even made itself at home on John's face for a surprisingly long time. The kids played hide-and-go-seek tag and fish off a nearby bridge that crossed Jarvis Creek, and for dinner we cooked some easy-to-make steak and veggie packs over the fire. They were delicious, and if you're interested, you can find the recipe in the notes below. The next day proved to be a rainy one, but there was a hike in the schedule, so hike we did. There's a plane wreck that rescue teams use for training that we wanted to see, so when there was a break in the rain, we suited up and set out to find it. On the trail, we stopped to have a look at an interesting old graveyard and then continued on to the plane wreck itself. The wreck is the cockpit and fuselage of an old plane. It was very cool to investigate. But by this point, the rain really started coming down again and we needed to find shelter. Luckily, not far from the plane wreck is a very nice cabin open to hikers in the summer and cross-country skiers in the winter that we were able to hide out there for lunch and rest until the rain slowed down a bit. The cabin has a beautiful fireplace and is even stocked with wood. Just make sure you bring matches or a lighter to start a fire. Unfortunately, we did not. The rain drenched just a bit more as we returned to our cars, and when we got back to the campsite, we had our work cut out for us bathing and drying off the dogs, particularly the fluffy one. The kids played card games and chess, read the books, and the rain eventually subsided, allowing us to eat dinner outside and make s'mores. Kids were happy, and the dogs, especially Watson, were tuckered out from a big day and ready for cuddles. Another feature of note was the Beaver Ranch Trail. a short hike that starts and ends by Halfway Campground that tells the tale of a short-lived and failed attempt to create a beaver ranch. There is a variety of different terrain on this short walk, and you can see the ruins of the old ranch buildings, and there is a beautiful view of Graveyard Lake. Finally, it was time to take our tired crew home, and with so many campgrounds nearby, it was not difficult to find a dump station we could use. If you want to check out William Switzer Park but don't want the first-come, first-served campground experience, there's also reservable campgrounds at Greg Lake and Jarvis Lake. Both have playgrounds, toilets, docks, and hand-launched boat launches. Jarvis Lake is the smaller of the two with 25 power sites, while Greg Lake is quite large with 69 unserviced sites, 83 powered sites, and 11 sites with power and water. It also has a boat launch for those with power boats, showers, and a number of other amenities and programming in the summer. While our first experience with First Come First Serve didn't go exactly as planned, it turned out to be a fantastic experience in the end and one that we will certainly do again in the future. Happy camping!